Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Things.
And it's your boy DJ.
All right, man. Let's get right into it. Episode 244.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. First of all, I want to start off with a rest in peace to the Green Ranger. Jason David Frank died by suicide this morning, man.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Green and White Ranger. And this is a bigger conversation. Yeah, man. It's fucking crazy. It made me, I actually almost started crying because it was a huge part of my childhood. Mm-hmm. I was a huge Power Rangers fan. And this is a bigger conversation we have to have about, men's mental health awareness, because this is considered Mental Health Awareness Month for men. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of shit going on. And I just want to say, you matter. If you listen to this podcast, you matter. Please talk to somebody, anybody, anybody. And I had to actually explain myself this morning because I posted it was a clip I seen from TikTok of how many men are taking their lives, right? Mm-hmm. Like per minute, per second, per hour, per whatever, right? And then the next clip was just showing why men matter. And I had to literally explain to somebody that was like, but women, but this. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be reductive of women. I just wanted to show why men matter in a time where they're taking their lives at a freaking 80% rate.
Yeah.
So
I don't even think you need to connect them, because I think that kind of creates like a comparison space. But just men's lives matter is a great way to just end that statement.
No, I never connected anything. They did that.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying there's no reason to connect.
Got it. Yeah. There was just some whataboutisms. Like, well, what about women doing this and this and that? It just showed like basically, you know who Cher is, right? Mm-hmm. Cher, they basically asked her in an old interview with Sally Jesse Raphael. I don't know if you remember who that is. Mm-mm. Yeah. Well, she was doing an interview. She was on her show back in the early 90s and in the early 80s. This looked like this was in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And she says, "Do you think men are important?" And she replied, like, important for what? And then everybody started laughing and women were clapping and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just thought that was an unnecessary statement. However, it does whatever. And then the next clip goes to showing, men that are firefighters and truck drivers, and this percentage of men are doing this and that, mm-hmm. just to represent the value that men have in this country. Not mm-hmm. to be reductive of women, mm-hmm. but to show the importance. And I got pushback for that. Mm-hmm. And that was after posting the suicide stuff. And then he takes his own life. Yeah. So it's just all these things were connected. So I don't want to talk Tom Blue in the face, but I just want men to know that they matter, man.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy that you would have to say that when literally none of us got here without a man, a man and a woman. So I feel like, I don't know, they should matter. Your sex shouldn't determine whether or not you matter or how much you matter, and your sex shouldn't determine how vulnerable you get to be. I feel like men need to learn how to be more vulnerable with each other, not just women, because everyone has that woman that maybe they can be vulnerable with, behind closed doors. But women oftentimes don't understand what a man may be going through.
No.
So it helps to have a friend you can go to and be like, bro, I'm not good. Like, this is going on. And it could be the softest thing in the world, and your friend is going to sit here, listen to you, if necessary, speak to you, counsel you, and not make fun of you for being soft or, you know what I'm saying? Give your boy a shoulder to cry on it, and not one that's going to laugh at him later.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the things that we need to tell women or wives or whatever is it can't be too heavy. It could be heavy, but not too heavy, because a lot of times they can't handle that. I've had a man tell me he wanted to take his life. I'm sure he never told his girlfriend that. Okay, yeah. So that's the thing. I think that we have to have communications amongst ourselves and make sense of what we're going through as men. I'm not saying to shut women out, but sometimes women they're not at, how do I say this? They don't have the mental threshold sometimes to take that on. Yeah. Because it's certain pressures and things that we go through as men that they can't quantify. And it's not to say that, women don't know this or that. It's just a fact. Like, for example, if a family, let's say as a family, right, things are tough. It's hard to pay bills. Things are doing bad. Society is not going to look at the woman. They're going to look at the man. Why is the man fell in the family? You dig what I'm saying? Those are the different things we go through as men. And we have these pressures on ourselves to be more. We want to be more. But sometimes that could take you to capacity and stress you the fuck out.
I will say, though, that I think that there's some merit to that. But I think there's also a lot of women that are like, they are like forcing men to be vulnerable that
ain't how it works.
That don't want to be vulnerable.
Right.
And I'm not saying that that works, but I'm just saying that it's not always the woman's fault that she's not creating a safe space for the man. And sometimes just like as men, we don't know how to share our feelings with the woman. And so I'm basically saying it's not always the woman's fault that there's not a safe space in the relationship. Sometimes it takes a man to like really turn into a man to understand like the value of vulnerability in a relationship.
Yeah. I think with women though, it gets tough to be vulnerable. And I'm not one of these guys, I say whatever, but for a lot of guys, it's tough to be vulnerable because you're the protector of the house. So any show of, any sign of weakness can be looked at as a negative in our own minds. A lot of it is in our own mind. Like, well, I don't want her to think I can't handle it, or, things like that. I got to be a man. I got to be tough. Can't let her see me. So then it's like, if you can't talk to your woman or your friends, then who can you talk to? Then that's when, you really get in your own head, and that's where things can really get bad.
Yeah. I think one thing women won't mention, but I believe this to be true. I think women are constantly evaluating, can I trust him? Can I trust him? Can I trust him? And it's happening multiple times during the marriage, relationship, whatever, as time goes on. And I think that as men, we want to be trusted. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So if we ever get in our own minds of, whether it's a financial struggle or, whatever it is, we will doubt ourselves. But here's the problem, too. Two things are very true before we move on. I also think that in some ways, women don't have enough practice with vulnerability with men, especially if they haven't always made the best decisions in who they've dated and they find a good man. They don't have any fucking practice. So when a man is vulnerable, they don't even know how to comprehend it. Yeah. So you get a lot of times where a man is like, I'm going through it, man. I'm just and she's just like, talking, I don't know what to do. He's just sitting there crying. He's been crying for a while. I don't know what to tell him. And it's because when you date, you have a history of being around men who have been emotionally unavailable, and you finally find a decent human being, it's kind of hard. You have to be able to grow yourself. And this is true for men too. We have to be able to, in order to meet a woman's needs, we have to update our programming. But it's, it's not always like men need to talk to somebody. They don't communicate. They don't talk. Well, we've been stifled a lot of our lives, too. If you fall down, you get told, it's just different being a man. You fall down, hurt yourself, you better not cry. Hey, make sure you walk your sister to school. Hey, make sure you don't. It's a different reality that we live that is not comprehended without really going into detail.
Yeah, I think all of that is true. But, and I will say that vulnerability is can really save your life. So, it is the case that some women don't understand how to comprehend a man's vulnerability, or they're coming to her crying, and sometimes it's hard for men to comprehend, just men to men. But
yes, I think it is.
That however it plays out, we have to be able to communicate how we're feeling about certain situations, because we go through a lot as human beings, as men, and men, there's a lot of societal pressures that comes with being a man. And, a lot of men's real struggles come by way of relationships and dealing with, wives and your girlfriends and stuff like that. So I just think I propose to anybody, just pick up the phone and call somebody, call your friend. And a lot of times you don't know how your friend is going to react, but the only way you'll really know is if you pick up the phone and have that conversation. Yeah. And sometimes it's not even about what they say to you or any sort of advice. Sometimes it's just about listening.
But on the flip side though, because I think too, a lot of men don't say things to their wives or girls or whatever because she's going through things. So he may feel like, man, she's been telling me every day, oh man, work has been like this, da 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 da. And then my mom, and then she's going through all these things. So even when you're in the midst of going through something, sometimes you need to pause and be like, okay, that's me, but how are you doing? And then genuinely listen. Don't listen for a split second and then go back to, oh yeah, that's crazy. But anyway, like I was saying, da 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 da. Don't do that. Really stop and say, okay, how are you doing though? We know I'm going through it. How are you?
Some people for sure will call you and be like, hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing all right. Good. Because at work today, and it'd be like, they only asking you how you're doing so that they can get their rocks off.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
So make sure you genuinely want to know how specifically the men around you are doing, because a lot of times they're not doing good, but they're trying to put up this front to be strong for you. Mm-hmm. And so you might need to let him know, like, look, hey, I got you too. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't coerce men though. Don't try to coerce them and then letting those feelings out. Let it be organic.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing too. Women over time have had more practice with being vulnerable or putting their feelings out because it's been socially accepted. With men, it hasn't. So what happens is they'll be like, I'm so tired of this and this and that. They'll be complaining to you about something and it's fine. But I just lost my fucking dad and I haven't slept for 2 weeks straight and I'm doing horrible. But the fact that you feel comfortable coming to me with all of your problems, you haven't seen anything I'm going through, but I have to like explain it. But it's almost like if I explained it, I don't even know how much of that you could fucking comprehend.
Yeah.
Like we go through some heavy stuff, some pretty heavy stuff. And that's not to flatten women. I just think they've had more experience with them expressing themselves. And then sometimes there's a lot of women, it's not all of them, but it's a lot of women that kind of facilitate the problems. Because what happens is you get with a woman and you might cry or something goes on or you're feeling bad and they lose interest. That is a real thing.
Yeah.
But I think that's definitely true, but that's it. That's the sign you need. Like if your girl is not providing a space, if she's not providing a space for you to cry or
that's a good point.
Be like, that's how you know you should get out of there.
That's a great point.
Or maybe, if you're willing to, if you have the patience to grow with that person, they can develop that, that trait to be more caring and more attending to your needs. But for the most part, like if you can't cry in front of your girl, then like that's not the one for you.
I think once you get a little older, you're too set in your ways. You're in your 30s and you're like that. I can't make you be that way. I think that it's just innately in some people.
Go ahead.
No, I just think it's innately in some people to have that caring heart for someone going through some shit. And I think that if you have robotic empathy to where it's like, oh man, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Well, today at work, you have to, like, you either have that or you don't. Some people on a very low end can get that. Yeah. But
I mean, I think the only reason I say it like that is because I'm a person that has learned empathy. Like I'm a person that, like, honestly, naturally, I don't care about a lot. Like there are some person like that feels everything in the world. Like it could be a bomb going off in Iran or something, and they just like, if they feel it in their heart, like they have, empathy and sympathy for and for those people. But I'm a person that I just naturally, like, if I can't relate to it on some level,
right,
I just don't care.
I'm like that.
So, empathy for me is like a real practice. Like I have to like really like articulate, that I am interested in what these people are saying.
I think that's normal though. I think some things make you feel everything and some things make you feel nothing. And it doesn't make you a bad person. Mm-hmm. It's just that I don't have an investment in this thing, which is why I'm not going to be acting like, oh, do this or you need to wear a mask because and you need to, and it's like, no, that ain't me.
But I'm saying in terms of a relationship, like that's literally something I had to practice. So there's a way that you can like really learn to be empathetic in your relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Well, all right. Switching gears. 2 teachers fired for having sexual relations in a classroom. This is going to be good, guys. Strap your seats up. An 8th grade teacher in Arizona and her husband have lost their school jobs after they recorded OnlyFans videos in the classroom. A side hustle she claimed was necessary to supplement their low salaries. Using the alias Chloe Carter, I'm about to look her up, Thunderbolt, the middle school science teacher, Samantha Peer, uploaded the X-rated videos for her OnlyFans page, which her students, they just plugged the shit out of her OnlyFans, which her students found and shared among themselves. Oh, wow. They was jacking off. Her husband, Natalis Elementary School 4th grade teacher Dylan Peer, also took part in the adult productions inside the Lake Havasu Unified School District building. According to the report, Samantha said she resigned Under pressure, October 31st, after being placed on paid administrative leave and probation. Dylan was let go 4 days later. On the Friday, she released a video explaining that she and her hubby resorted to creating X-rated videos because of their low salaries. My children are the most important. She looked kind of good. She got a big head, though. My children are the most important thing to me. I'm already spending countless hours outside of my contract time on school activities. And I don't think it's fair that I have to sacrifice my own children's time because our professional salary did not pay enough, she said. Wow. Well,
most people start Etsy stores. Like,
right.
Most people selling cakes and pies and stuff
but
like that.
This could be a blessing in disguise.
Mm-hmm. They go full-fledged.
Yeah, they can go full-time with it now and not have to worry about nothing. They might make more money on only, especially with, this is, all right, look, all publicity is good publicity.
No, it's not.
No. In their case, because as you just said when you were reading it, hey, they just really plugged their OnlyFans. You
they better know. They better know how to fuck. They better know how to fuck. Because if they don't know how to fuck and they got some watered down porn, then that didn't mean nothing.
First of all, they better know how because they were science people. Sex is science.
Nigga going deep in that equator.
Yeah, science, especially if they're teaching chemistry, they better have some.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, man. I don't think there's really an excuse for it. If you're doing a certain job, you shouldn't be like, it's just not ethical. You know, you may be off the clock. But I remember back in the day when teachers didn't have that sexual energy. You know, they didn't have that, man. Nowadays, these teachers be at the school with yoga pants and their titties all out and shit. And you're like, I was driving by, I was going to the gym the other day, and I looked over, and it was a teacher. She couldn't be no older than probably 35 right in there. A 35-year-old in the 90s dressed way motherfucking different. Mm-hmm. Like, you couldn't even create a sexual fantasy about the teacher. Well, it was one back in the day. Mrs. Tafoya. Shout out to Miss Tafoya, yo.
What school? Asian. Whoa, hold on. Miss Tafoya might have been my vice principal.
Really? She probably was.
Yeah, she was my vice principal.
Kind of tall?
At Thorner, yeah.
Yeah, it's her then.
Yeah, Hispanic lady.
Yeah, she was a fox when I was young.
Yeah, Miss Tafoya. Miss Tafoya let me get away with a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah, when I was a kid, she probably was like 26, 27.
Yeah.
And that was like in 95. Yeah, like 95. So now she's much older.
Tupac had just got out on bail.
Yep. And a couple
fresh out of jail, California
Dreaming.
That's when Tupac still had hair.
Now it's 95 and I'm sorry.
Yeah, but no, man. I just think that nowadays everything goes, we're too progressive, and people want to fuck and be a teacher and then go to Bible study and then get out of Bible study and then have sex in the church. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
But she was having sex with her husband. So the Bible study part, she can do that.
Yeah, she's not sinning.
She can do that. She's not sinning. The problem is she was doing it at work. I don't even think. You
gotta obey the law of the land, though.
Yeah, I truthfully, as a teacher, I don't even think that the OnlyFans was a problem. Because who's not being held accountable, and it's not gonna happen. But the kids who was on the OnlyFans, they shouldn't be held accountable, like kicked out of school. But like nobody's talking about how that's a problem too. It's like these kids is able to just find this porn. And did they stumble upon it, or did she just have?
Ain't nobody stumbled upon no porn.
Did they just be like?
You was looking for it.
I bet she got an OnlyFans. Something about her feel real OnlyFans. You seen her husband was looking at it?
Yeah, you really got to find an OnlyFans page.
Yeah, you don't just run up on it.
Yeah, for sure. Unless they, I don't know, did they post it on social media or something?
No, they just were sharing it.
Like I'm talking about
like
the teacher.
Click the link in my bio.
Like how did they promote their OnlyFans?
They promoted it through a paywall.
So they had to use their social media. It's probably kids that followed them some capacity.
No, they blocked everyone in Arizona. They literally blocked everyone in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you do that. I thought they did.
Yeah, you can make an Instagram and say you from Delaware.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess that's what happened, but they still got caught.
I'm kind of tired of this like excuse that I did this because I needed to make supplemental income.
No.
It's like there's so many other things you could have done that didn't jeopardize your career.
I mean, but you got to go with your gifts. So if her and her husband her husband was at the house in private getting it in, they might have was like,
can you imagine that?
If we just record this, we can get a bag.
Can you imagine that though?
And they was teachers. They try to use that to their advantage, like kinky teacher.
Yeah.
So that's why they had to use a classroom. Get some real OnlyFans money so you can afford like a set. studio.
Yeah, you need a real set. That ain't cool fucking in school. You got pussy juice and shit all over the goddamn table. Yeah. It's kids coming in there.
It's apples in there, pencils, worms in the apples.
Fucked up, man. Hey, Davion, Miss Carter got some good pussy. Look at this.
That's crazy.
That's the conversation that they're having, and that's why they got fired.
Dang.
That's why they got fired. You can't be doing that, man.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that shit. You can't be a teacher doing that.
It's at least one kid trying to figure out what school they work at now so they can transfer and see Miss Carter again.
I'm for sure trying to get held back somehow. I'm 30 years old trying to get.
It was a teacher here locally, and she got fired. And we talked about that years ago. Her literal name, because we had looked it up for research for the podcast.
Right.
Only for research purposes.
Right. Research.
Her name was BBC Slut Wife.
Yeah,
that was her name.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did the kids call her Mrs. Slutwife at school?
No, I don't think they did. They just knew that's what she was. And the fucked up thing, she was a teacher. Was it Independence?
No, it was Frontier.
Oh, Frontier.
Yes.
Yeah. That's crazy. Like, you got to know better than that. Like, these kids are watching porn. Like, I watched porn as a kid. Well, I didn't watch it because we didn't have it on, we had the Spice Channel when I was a kid. But they had magazines was big back then.
Magazines.
So we was watching.
Those pages was sticky.
Man, it was some residue on those pages.
Eddie was watching that porn where they didn't have words, just a lot of music playing over it. Exactly them.
The cool part about the reason why I be like, I don't be believing nobody, but the reason I have an issue with this whole excuse of supplemental income or whatever. Rick Ross once, when he was going back and forth with 50 Cent, because 50 Cent come out the gate with Get Rich or Die Trying, he said like 10 million records, and then he do the Massacre, another 10 million records. And what Rick Ross was saying was like, I would rather sell 1 million records 10 times than sell like one record and sell 10 million. So I say that to say, in terms of like what these teachers are doing, this is like a flash in the pan. Like it's only so long before your body parts, or you're just not as attractive. Yeah. And with being a teacher, you got health insurance, you got a retirement plan, you got an actual career where you get a salary, all these different things, just like a lot of benefits. But I just think like that was an excuse for them to just kind of like live out some sort of fantasy and think. I'm sure they wanted to make money. Obviously, they put it behind a paywall.
Yeah, that shit.
But at the end of the day, like, I think the majority of it was like, ooh, this is interesting. This is fun. Like,
the dumb thing about it is, if you're fucking in a classroom, there's going to be something on the wall. There's going to be something up there that tells you what fucking school it is.
We know what your classroom look like.
Yeah, so it's like we know.
My son's name is on the board. He got an A on his spelling test.
Davion got an A. Yeah. And I appreciate the progress he's made, but y'all fucking in there.
Yeah. What's the teacher's name?
Chloe Carter is her porn name.
Oh.
I'm not interested in the real name. That doesn't matter right now, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, man, you got to stop. I know we live in a time.
Stop having sex in classrooms, man.
You know the fucked up thing about it? Here's the fucked up thing about.
It's a fantasy.
Here's the fucked up thing about the current landscape of the world. There are a bunch of regular people, and especially in this age, there's a bunch of regular women who went into sex work. Think about that. That's crazy. Because back, like before the pandemic, this wasn't really a thing.
Oh, you mean women that probably previously wouldn't have done it?
Right. I know a few women with OnlyFans.
Yeah, I know some women with
OnlyFans. A few. And they literally naked on the motherfucker. I don't subscribe to it. I don't have OnlyFans. But I know they get naked on there.
Yeah.
And some people was fucking on there. And it's like, yo, like, come on, man. Like, this is too much.
That's scary.
It's giving OnlyFans a bad name, because I wanted to make OnlyFans to go in there and tell jokes. But it was like,
it had to be.
You're not going to show your feet or nothing?
That was funny, but pull your dick out.
I was just about to say that, but I didn't want to say it because it was going to be awkward.
That's exactly why I didn't go no further.
You look in the comments, that nigga DJ hilarious. I'm trying to jack off.
Oh, man.
I want to see the D, not the J.
Yo, that's exactly. Some of us out here actually want to use it for what it was for.
Oh, man.
Can't do
that nigga DJ telling jokes. I'm trying to get some strokes.
Okay. That's honestly, that's enough. That's enough. Honestly, y'all could.
It's funny because there's a guy out here in Bakersfield that is like in that world, in the like sex. He used to be, at least. And girls would say like he would be like jacking off in the shower singing songs, like
wow,
like singing Ushers, like these are my confessions, just when I thought I said.
That's creative.
Oh man, nigga be in there. X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you.
That's more gangster.
Oh no, that's terrible.
That's wild.
Damn, man. I don't know, man. And the thing too is you have to market yourself too. People create an OnlyFans but be lazy. Like if you're gonna create an OnlyFans and it's gonna be any sexual shit, whatever, you can't just like pop up. You have to like promote that really shit.
Yeah.
That goes into don't do things that you are not truly proud of, or that you wouldn't tell nobody you do, because
yes, sir,
you get on there wanting to be sexual, but then you also scared to go on there and promote what you about to do on there.
There you go.
And that actually may get you some more money if you just be like, you know what, y'all?
Yeah,
I'm busting it open. You heard me?
Mm-hmm.
That thing open. Come on in.
I was in this class, and one of like the leaders of the class had said, it was around the idea of like being vulnerable. And she was saying, I don't do anything in my life that I'm not willing to share. So in that conversation, we were just talking about vulnerability. So, you know, for example, like we started this podcast and you'd be like, oh, man, I don't know. I don't want to tell.
Right.
But in terms of that, like, it's true because, you know, if you a person that got a secret OnlyFans, you're not going to get the same type of numbers or subscribers because you kind of like, oh, I'm only gonna post it over here. I'm only gonna post it. Like the ones that's really doing it, they on TikTok doing lives, they on IG Reels, they got Twitter, they sharing pictures and all this stuff, and it all kind of funnels back to their OnlyFans.
Yeah, you're wasting your own time at that point. Here's what I would tell people doing the OnlyFans shit. I don't care if it's behind a paywall. Nothing dies on the internet. So here's the problem. For a lot of the women that are sexually liberated that are on there, and some of the guys that's in there jacking off in the shower.
Niggas crazy. These are my confessions.
Yeah, here's the nigga in there like, whoo yeah, beating his meat. Look, it could be 30 years from now, right? And you're the different man, you're a different woman. You go to church, you have a family, you're a grandmother now, whatever you are, right? But it's still gonna be videos of you sucking dick back in 2022.
Ooh, Lord,
that was my thing. Like, you know, you giving up your teaching career for a couple years of, you know, selling OnlyFans. It might go. I don't know. Sex is extremely popular, but who knows what the platform will look like.
They just gotta put out more content.
Yeah,
man, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, they gotta try to but like they didn't lose their credential or their license to teach though, so they will potentially get another job.
But you got to get hired. You know this process. Like you got to sit down in front of somebody and be like, hey, like.
I at my last class, I had my titties on the desk. And,
just move to California. They let people fuck out here.
Yeah.
It's progressive. You could fuck and get fake
and teach.
Yeah, you can fucking teach on the side.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Why didn't you just come to us and ask us to use a classroom?"
Yeah. All you needed was a permit and some insurance.
The fact that you snuck in is why we have to let you go.
Yeah, it's like me and the vice principal always make videos here, but it's the fact that you didn't ask us is why we're very livid about this.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Wow,
Mrs. Carter."
Yeah, Ms. Carter in there. Yeah, so hey, this is a cautionary tale to people that want to make any type of explicit content. Yeah. If you're not proud of it or you don't want to get busted or fired, don't do it.
Pick up a second job.
Pick up a second job or whatever.
She picked up a sucking job instead of picking up a second job.
What killed me is they jumped right over stripping. She could have been a nice stripper in Arizona.
No, you can't.
Oh,
Somebody would snitch on you there. That totally would.
Hey. At least it's not on the internet, though.
And at least your 8th graders can't get in the club.
Yeah, the 8th graders.
The school ID won't get you in that.
Get in.
I don't go to strip clubs. I've been to strip club about 4 times in my life. Mm-hmm. Each time it was not my idea. I don't waste money on naked women, right? I actually like taking women on dates. But anyways,
I for sure like being in a strip club.
I don't like it. I don't care for it.
Been in a long
but
time.
it was a chick I went to high school with. It was a chick that was Yo, it was a chick I went to high school with that was butt naked on the stage at Exotic Kitty.
Yeah.
And she was completely naked. And then she seen me and was like, "Hey, what's up, Eddie?" I was like, "Hey, what's going on?"
I definitely been in a strip club once, and my friend's cousin was on stage.
No.
Yeah. He was like, "Oh man, it's awkward in here, but I already paid my money to get in."
Dang. Yeah. I didn't know Deborah had ass like that. Fuck.
Cousin was thick too, boy.
Oh man,
that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
It's Bakersfield too. You can't do that.
It definitely can't do that.
Yeah, you mess around and see somebody.
He was like, "Oh, nigga, that's that bus driver I told you about. She in the club now." All right, switching gears. Recently, the candy company Haribo, they recently had a check returned to them worth $4.8 million. And I'll read the article. A man returned a check made out to Haribo for $4.8 million. He was thanked in gummy candy. All right, and it's 6 bags of candy. He said, "I thought it was a bit cheap," said the man. The way a candy company responded to a man's sweet gesture, I like that play on words, has left him more than a little sour. Oh, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. They did that.
They're real creative.
Real creative. I like this writer here. On November 10th, a story about a man named Anwar G was published in German newspaper Bild in an article. Anwar recounted a series of events that led him straight to the head honchos of German confectionery company Haribo. Anwar said that one day after visiting his mother, he was making his way home through whatever this place, Bonswat Nierdad, whatever, light rail station stop in Frankfurt, Germany, when something caught his eye. He spotted a little piece of paper flapping in the wind, and it turned out to be a check made to Haribo for $4.8 million, or a little more than 4.81. Let me see. Continue reading. The check from DZ Bank was issued by German supermarket chain Rue to Haribo for what must have been more gummy bears than any single man would known what to do with. Still, Anwar did the responsible thing and contacted Haribo. When a lawyer for the candy company got back to him, Anwar said he was asked to destroy the check and send a photographic proof of it, which he did. A few days later, Haribo sent him a thank you in the mail for helping them out. 6 bags of Haribo gummies. Said Anwar, Das von ich schon being said Anwar Bill, which translates
nigga Eddie bilingual.
From German to English. I thought it was a bit cheap. Okay, here's the thing, right? When it comes to Haribo as a company, I think, or to him, I think when you do a good deed, you shouldn't have an expectation after that. I think you should do things out of the kindness out of your own heart. But 2 things should be very true. I feel that Haribo was cheap as a motherfucker. You only gave him 6 fucking candies. You cocksuckers. You could have gave him more candy than that. That was fucked up.
How much candy would have been enough?
Shit, 2 briefcases full.
I would say like, yeah.
If you're going to give me candy, at least give me enough candy for I could be like, hey, you know what? I still thought it was cheap, but they gave me enough candy to last a year.
I got a glue analogy, man. Yo, Halloween was 3 weeks ago. What am I supposed to do with this? I'll be up there mad.
Oh man. Yeah, I thought it was a little fucked up. $4.8 million is a slight for them. That's $1 billion corporation.
I think that article missed some context in terms of like, I believe that was and I might be wrong. I think it was a check written to
DZ Bank.
I think it was like a store that was writing a check to Haribo, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think it is slightly a slap in the face. I think for me, the way I look at it is like, I try not to be like a hypocrite, because I know that that's like natural for us as human beings to be hypocritical. So, because I don't know like what exactly I would do. Because if I'm looking at it and I'm Haribo and somebody finds a check, like say that, I don't know, like the rent check for the office or something like that. I write a check every month, and somebody returned it to me, I would be like, oh, thank you. You know what I mean? I know for sure I'm not giving nobody like $10 or whatever, because one, you can't do anything with the check. You'll probably get arrested if you went inside of a bank and try to like cash that. And 2, like I don't know, the way I look at like pressured by society to really do anything. So it sounds good, getting donkey of the day and like, getting backlash on Twitter and all these other things. But at the end of the day, like, when you're a successful brand or a successful business, you kind of approach things in a certain way. Like you approach things in a way where every dollar matters. And he didn't really save you really any money or anything. He didn't really do anything for you.
I agree. But you know what else matters, Keith? PR. I think it would have been great PR if you were to pay that man for bringing that check back, because either way, when stories like this hit the streets, everybody's going to find out about it. So and the thing about it, I'm not saying I got to give him $50,000 or no shit like that, but if it was $2,500, $5,000, it's nothing to them. It's not going to hurt them to do that.
What happens with that too is it's never enough. Like, you know how it is. Like, even we talked about Jeff Bezos earlier. He donated like $700,000, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like that's like a slap in the face. How could you donate such a little money when you're a billionaire?" Like, so what? So I guess what I'm saying is like they could have donated money, but sometimes you run into this like the PR is like there's always like, oh, they only gave him $4,000 out of a $4.8 million check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. But it would have been a better gesture than 6 fucking bags of candy, Keith.
Yeah.
6 bags.
I ain't giving nobody no money. If you find my check, thank you.
Nah.
Well, now you know. You find a wallet with an ID in it that say Keith Fingers. Keep all the money.
Yeah, just keep the money in there. There probably ain't no money in there, actually.
Oh yeah, they're gonna look. Oh fuck this nigga. We about to steal his identity.
And I think that's the main thing. That's probably the main thing with these types of conversations is all gonna do is talk about what we would have done.
Yeah.
So my position is different than Keith's because I would have, if I had as much money as they do, would have given that man some money for just taking the time to even return the check. And really, it wouldn't even have to. I know it's a crazy story because there's so much money involved, but it really wouldn't have to be a story. It'd just be like you said, just a thank you, but also. Here goes some, even the money that's in that man's pocket. You know what I mean?
I can speak on this from experience because I already know what I would have done and I've already done it. I remember I've mentioned on here before, maybe once or twice, how I lost my wallet when I was in college. I was working at Sears and I lost it on the public transportation. This is like 2006 or 7. And once you lose something on the bus, you ain't getting that shit back. I had about $70 and a credit card on it. And a girl I went to high school with, Alexis Tate. Shout out to Alexis. Alexis worked in the mall at the time as well. And she found me at work, said, "Hey, I got your wallet, Eddie." And I looked at it, I was like, "Oh my God, thank you." And then I tried to give her the money out of my wallet and she wouldn't take it. So I can speak from in a small sample size. I'm not Haribo. I'm not a fucking millionaire. But at that time, when I was only like 21, I might have been 21. No, might have been, 21 years old. That was a lot of money to me. $70 was a lot of money. And I was willing to give it all away because she had done something. And it changed. It gave me, how do you say this? It restored my faith in humanity when she gave me my wallet with all my shit in it. Like all of my shit was in my wallet. And I got paid that day and I wanted to give her all the money in my wallet only because like for somebody to do something like that. So for me to feel that way when I was in college as a man who my brain wasn't even fully developed, why is this a company that has lasted for many, many years? They got a $4.8 million check that they don't have to give to anybody, right? I'm not saying they had to give them anything, but 6 bags of candy, nigga, are you serious? 6 bags.
Yeah.
That's insane.
More candy, bro.
So Keith, would you have gave the candy or just nothing, just to thank you?
I might have gave him more candy, but I don't think you deserve like $4,000.
Man,
probably like a lifetime. Because with the candy, it doesn't really cost him anything. It probably cost him like 20 cents to make a bag or something like that.
You know what? It could have been more. It could have been more of a customized gift. Let me give you movie tickets to here. Let me give you some food coupons to here. Let me give you a gift card to here. Something.
Yeah, not a cavity. Now I'm into it with my dentist.
That's insane, man. I've given people more than that.
Yeah.
I've given people more than that, and I'm just a guy, right? I'm not a corporation. I just think it gives you an idea of how tight motherfuckers is when it doesn't profit them, right? So if it's not profiting them, they don't see the value in it. So here's a funny thing. You want to hear something that's funny? I guarantee you, because I've seen it myself, whenever they have people coming down from corporate, at these big company meetings, they are spending money. They're going to restaurants, spending thousands of dollars and giving huge tips. That's what these companies do. They take their company cards and they spend a shitload of money at these places, right? They buying all the lobster, all the shrimp, all this shit. But a motherfucker gives you a $4.8 million check and you act like you're deaf and blind. I think that's fucked up because I know how they move. When I was working at Sears, there was people that would come down from Florida or whatever like that, and they was going out having drinks and all kind of shit on the company card. Mm-hmm. So these people that are, the upper echelon or whatever at these companies, they're spending so much money, but they only want to give you 6 bags of candy. These motherfuckers, man, boy.
Yeah.
I think I've made that promise to myself that when I become what I want to become and I'm running a business as big or as small as it gets, I don't want a company to get so fucking massive that I'm treating everybody like a robot that doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. I just don't ever want to, just from a moral standpoint, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I want people, to, even if they're not happy to show up to work, I want to give them an incentive to keep showing up and let them know that they matter.
Mm-hmm. You do cross over a certain threshold where everything does become business first,
right?
People second.
Mm-hmm.
So in a lot of these cases, for them, it may not have been, the best business move to give him any money because all money in, no money out, as Nipsey say. So they may have been like, "Yo, we would love to be able to pay you something, but that wasn't in the budget. Thanks."
Yeah, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, that wasn't in the budget. I can't.
Yeah. I'm just seeing it. Maybe there was some actual research that went into it. Like how would this positive promotion? I honestly think it wouldn't have benefited them in terms of a positive PR thing because the negative, if there was a positive version of that story, we wouldn't have even heard about it. Yeah. We're only hearing about it because it was it's a negative story in a sense where they didn't pay him or
keep it real. You the CEO of Haribo?
I wish. It would look different in here. Candy
this nigga always eating candy too. This nigga always got gummy bears.
Yeah. Them mugs fire, especially the we used to have the right.
Oh, we
meetings.
did.
Yeah.
What?
Hold on, they owe us. Hold on. What? I'm with dude.
We used to have writing meetings, and I would go to the store. DJ or Chris would go to the store and pick up some gummy worms and
gummy bears.
Just be smacking them, writing scripts and stuff.
I'm pretty sure it's Haribo. Yeah, for sure.
Haribo the little bear, ain't it?
Yeah.
Every meeting is that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas was taking years off y'all life doing that shit.
Oh yeah. Dang. They put cigarettes in the can. I'm playing.
Remember what I said?
Nicotine in there.
Remember what I said? Imagine if with certain things you would do, certain foods you would eat would tell you verbally how many years was taken off your life.
Yeah.
Losing 1 year.
Yeah. That was a little short film idea we had.
Yeah. The bear going into your mouth.
I gotta write that down actually. Because I had it in my notes, so I think I didn't have an iPhone back then.
Oh.
Yeah,
man. So Haribo, man, fuck you, man. Get it together, man. Start treating people with some respect, man. We could have a debate whether it would be good PR or not. I think it would be, right? It's just like when the Taco Bell situation where the dude worked there for 20 years and they gave this nigga a coffee mug and pencils and shit like that.
I'm like, we don't even serve coffee.
It was
what am I gonna do with this mug?
That's an embarrassment. That's an embarrassment to me.
And a pencil. What?
I hear what you say. I think for me, maybe the money is a stretch, but if it was a customized Haribo thing, a big old thing, and then some t-shirts. Bear. Yeah, big old teddy bear or something. And even, they be having the custom shoes and stuff like that. Maybe some custom Haribo Air Force Ones or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been something more set up, know, because yeah, man, Christmas time's coming up. I've been thinking about, what kind of gifts I would get you and DJ, man. I want to get you guys something really thoughtful.
Wait, say that again?
I've just been thinking about what I want to get you and DJ.
Oh, man, I appreciate
something really thoughtful, man. I've been really thinking about it. I got an idea though, and it won't be a gag gift. It'll just be something very specific.
Yeah,
we gonna get Keith 6 bags of candy because that's what he cool with.
I ain't gonna front. I'd be appreciative. Like nigga, ain't nobody ever got me no candy, man.
Yeah, I think this is the little things in life, especially at this age.
When you grow up,
you ever have a good day off of some shit that's just super small? You'd be like, yo, I really I was able to hit the gym. All my clothes is clean. You know,
yo,
the laundromat.
Yo, you on to something with all the clothes. Hold on. That definitely is a good day. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Why am I so happy about this?
it'd be some regular stuff for me, like just like have you ever like put your boxers on fresh out of the dryer?
Oh my God.
I'm like warm.
Especially in the wintertime.
I think that's how women feel when they have an orgasm.
Yeah.
Some warm boxers.
Fresh underwear out of the fucking dryer?
What?
Yeah,
Nothing like
different.
a warm gooch on a cold December night.
Oh my God.
I don't like a warm gooch.
That's some.
Yo, you was right on target with all my clothes is clean. That feels like.
Yeah.
And
we need to present that idea to Shark Tank and just call it nut warmers.
Drawers that stay warm, thermal energy.
You put them in the dryer and they stay warm for about 3 hours. You got 3 hours of hot nuts.
But they dry fit, so your balls don't sweat fast.
It don't sweat.
Yeah,
Wow.
Dry fit, thermal energy. I don't know what type of science. We got to ask them teachers with the OnlyFans. they open, they free.
Yeah, sell that.
Yeah.
$90.
I feel like we had like $5 million ideas in our lifetime of podcasting.
I don't think these draws will sell very well out here, though. We would have to sell those to in Wisconsin or in Canada. They'd be huge out there.
Mm-hmm.
In places where in Alaska, places where cold nuts are very prevalent.
We need like the Timberland editions in New York.
You can always get extra sales by making draws for like the real big dudes, because we always wonder why we see like they butt crackers because they don't have on draws.
They don't fit.
They underrepresented on the underwear packs. I used to work at Men's Warehouse, and they had all the underwear. So I started paying attention to like the underwear packs in Target, Walmart. Wow. It's always some
go
skinny
up to XL, huh?
It's always some skinny dude with abs on there. So the big dude is like, they ain't got nothing for me.
Now big niggas need draws with a drawstring on them because their ass gonna keep. It's just gonna keep sliding, especially if they ain't got no ass. You just a big nigga with a flat ass and the draws is sliding down.
or make draws where like. You know how they got like a drop T-shirt?
Yeah.
You got to do the opposite with draws and make it like where the draws
like
go up the back. Like they go up higher in the back and they low rise in the front. That might be dope.
Man. Yeah, they definitely need more representation for people with long cracks.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
Today,
crack concealers.
Bro, I swear I'm not playing. I swear to you, bro. I was near the laundromat over off of Ash. You know how they got a Liquor King on that corner in there and that Otto's on that little center there? Mm-hmm. I pulled into there and it was this homeless dude. And this nigga bent over and 90% of his ass was out. And I was like, yo, ain't no way this nigga wearing drawers. Ain't no way.
Have you ever seen a nigga sagging his drawers?
No.
That's annoying.
No, I don't know. My drawers about evaporated.
That is nasty.
Yeah, nigga, whole ass is out. Just
the wildest thing I seen was like a nigga had like 5 layers of sagging going on.
What do you mean?
Like his drawers was sagging,
the hoop shorts,
and then the hoop shorts was sagging, and then the shorts over that was sagging, and then his pants was sagging, but he had a belt on like way down here.
What the fuck? He had that many pairs of shorts on?
Yeah.
He was homeless for real. He was wearing his whole wardrobe.
That nigga had a week worth of clothes on.
Yeah,
he didn't have no closet, so he just rotate them over the top.
God damn,
yeah, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
You know that's a trip when you see somebody sagging. Like it's levels. I seen somebody sagging down here with a belt on. Mm-hmm. It was like around his thighs, the belt.
It'd be a designer belt on. Nigga, that's be sagging.
Man, one of them dudes. If you sagging that bad, you better not ever be talking shit. Because all I got to do is sock you in your jaw and just move to the left. And you can't go nowhere because your drawers and your pants are down.
Yeah, ngniggas be sagging with their dick out.
That's ridiculous.
Like, it's one thing to just have a little
ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't. I'll tell you this much: a dude from the East Coast, he better not ever talk shit wearing those Timberlands. Because you sock a dude in Timberlands, how you getting around with those fucking boots on?
Yeah.
You got those boots on like you punched me, son? I'm like, yeah, I punched you, nigga. What's up? Boom.
But if he kick you, it's over.
Oh, yeah, he kick you, it's over, man. Yeah. Your life bar going down like a motherfucker you get with that. Mm-hmm. You know, on Street Fighter, you get hit by a Zangief and your whole bar go down. That's them boots are going to take your whole motherfucking life bar out there. Like, yo, I got my butters on, yo. I'm going to kick you with my butters.
You got to tag another dude in. That nigga, he going to have on lugs.
Yo, I ain't heard that in so long. Damn, remember Funkmaster Flex had his own boot?
I know, but I remember Birdman. Birdman had his own lugs.
Yeah.
Yo, baby, I got my own boot. Lugs.
I'm from the boot with a boot.
Birdman lugs. It was Birdman lugs.
Yeah.
That shit was ugly as a motherfucker.
I think the game had his own lugs too.
Ew. Yeah. That's back when niggas was doing Boost Mobile commercials and shit.
Yeah, them brands is not around.
They're not around at all.
Dang.
Nah. All right, switching gears. A Virginia football player shooting. Recently, there was a shooting, and it was really bad. Let me go ahead and bust open this article really quick here. Okay. Let me see. Suspect accused of killing 3 University of football players is denied bond as new revelations emerge. The student accused of killing 3 university football players after a school field trip was denied bail Wednesday during a court hearing in Charlottesville. According to the witness, suspect Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. shot one of the football players, Devin Chandler, while he was sleeping. The Abernathy County prosecutor said fellow UVA Cavaliers Lavelle Davis Jr. and Deshaun Perry were also killed. Mourners honor 3 beloved students and athletes killed in the shooting. Wednesday hearing also revealed that Jones was charged and convicted of reckless driving and hit and run in 2021 and had a concealed weapons charge in the same year. Goddamn. He received suspended sentences for all 3 offenses. Jones remains in custody at Abernathy Regional Jail, according to online records. He was assigned a public defender until the next hearing in December, a status hearing that will discuss whether Jones has retained private counsel, Attorney John Hangley said. Okay, it's somewhere down in here, but okay. I actually watched some videos, and the girl had mentioned before he started shooting, he's like, man, I'm tired of y'all messing with me, right? So there was, and he also had confided in a friend that he was being like messed with and bullied. Mm-hmm. Let me say this. I was watching a video on YouTube of one of the, what do you call not superintendent, what do you call the main people at a college?
Like the dean?
I guess I don't even know what's called. The
administration.
Administrator. One of the administrators. Mm-hmm. She was like, him being bullied is not an excuse to be shooting or killing anybody. And here's my response. Why not? I'm not saying you should be killing and shooting people, but who the fuck are you to determine how somebody's going to respond to you when you've been bullying them? You need to leave people alone. When you've determined that somebody is really pissed off or they tired of it or something's wrong. Like if you're bullying somebody every fucking day and they blow your head off, who are you to say that they didn't need to do that? I'm not saying it's right to shoot anybody. All I'm saying is you don't get the option of saying what's right and what's wrong. You just don't. Bullying is fucked up. Some people are going to respond by fighting you back. Some people are going to respond by just because bullying will cause people to take their own life. There have been little kids that have killed themselves. There's little kids that have hung themselves over being bullied. So this is a very serious subject matter we're talking about here. And he lashed out. And was it right? No. But once again, I'll reiterate, who the fuck are we to say, just because you're getting bullied, there's no excuse for you to be shooting? Honestly, it's a perfect excuse. It's not a good one, but it's reality. We have to live in reality. Reality is when a person is making you feel like you want to kill yourself, mm-hmm. Who are we to determine what the fuck you should do at that point?
Yeah. I think what she said is correct. I think there's very minimal circumstances in which we should kill a person. Like coming into your house and invading your property and stuff like that. But I think that she just shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I think it kind of dismisses the fact that he was being bullied probably by these athletes and who knows in what capacity, especially on college campuses. It'd be some wild stuff going on college campuses.
Yeah.
It'd be like I don't know. I mean, we've had Brent on the podcast and he talked about all the stuff that he went through with his fraternity and stuff like that. So I just think I think a lot of people don't have like great communication skills, and I think and they're very apparent in these moments. Like, there's a version of what she said that could have just been a better statement to kind of sum up the overall nature of what took place. And I think there's a way to like acknowledge all aspects of what went on, and especially his experience, because that's the result of people being bullied. Like you said, it's either they take their own lives or they start shooting up schools and all these other things.
And it needs to be context about everything before you just say that. How long was he being bullied? In what way was he being bullied? Did he have a parent pass away and they were making fun of him about something he was already struggling with? Did they beat him up real bad, like every day? Like, to what extent was he being bullied? And had he expressed this to somebody else and all they did was get a slap on the wrist to where he felt like nobody's doing anything, nobody's defending me, so I'm going to defend myself the only way I know how. Like, you can't just say he shouldn't have killed them without knowing the full context. Like, because nobody goes straight to killing you. You did not bully this dude for a day or 2 days, and then all of a sudden he was like, that's it, I'm killing everybody. And this had to be a constant thing, which is why, to me, it's important that, even like with raising our kids when it comes to bullying, it's one thing to not join the bullying, but it's also another thing to step in and stop the bullying. Like, if you're a kid who's considered like one of the cool kids and you see your friends bullying this one dude, you need to be one of the people to step in and be that guy's friend and say like, hey, y'all, this is not cool. Like, we need to leave him alone, da-da-da. And at the very least, it will make him feel like he does have, a friend or somebody who cares, to where he won't kill nobody. Or, what I'm saying, like I would tell my son, he at least not going to kill you.
I heard that.
At least keep you, like, you could buy yourself some time. Get out of there.
I'll say this. If a parent's kid's getting bullied, right?
Yeah.
And that their kid ends up killing himself, and they see the motherfucker that did it, this is what the parent's thinking. You should be the one that's dead.
Yeah.
Okay? Not my kid. You should be dead. You fucking took him to the brink to where he killed himself. You should be dead. Not my kid. That's why I made that statement. And I'm not trying to say that it's okay. I'm just living in reality. And the truth be told is kids are dying over this stuff. People are literally dying over bullying. This is not something to take lightly or say, oh, so-and-so shouldn't have done this. We can't make the judgment of what a person's supposed to do when they've been bullied. We just can't. We can say, oh, under certain circumstances, if somebody breaks in your house or this or that, from being morally sound.
But I'm talking about legalities. Like,
ain't nobody think about legalities when they're being bullied.
He's going to prison for life, though.
The logic is out the window. You're not thinking logically when you shoot a person in their sleep.
You're not. But what I'm saying is, like, that's cool. You got bullied, but now you're sitting in prison for your whole life.
Well, he also may have accepted that reality before going to do it. It may have been, you just can't decide, like, what's worth it to somebody. This prison time may have been worth it.
It might have been better than getting bullied.
Like, I may feel trapped already or feel like it's a living hell with these people doing this to me. So, I don't even care about the jail. He might have, because these people talk to their families like, look, man, I'm about to do something crazy. Just know I love y'all.
I think we're reading into this too much. I think he blacked out. And I think that blacking out is real. And I think that if you've ever been out with somebody in public at a bar or whatever, and they're getting in an argument with somebody, and they're like, fuck you, motherfucker, and you're trying to hold them back, and they're trying to fight everybody to get to this person, they're not using logic. They're a victim of that moment. And they're so fucking enraged that there is no logic.
But how long does a blackout last?
I don't have the answer for that.
Three people?
Yeah, he shot 3 people, and one of them was sleep. So the person sleeping couldn't have been bullying him in the moment to where he just flipped out. Like, that was a calculated decision.
Premeditated.
Like I'm gonna wait till he sleep and it's over.
You could be premeditated and still black out.
Yeah.
There's somebody that killed his. He was technically sleepwalking, and he killed his wife or his mother-in-law.
Yeah.
And he went to court, and they literally showed that this nigga was literally sleepwalking when he did it, which is not the exact same thing, but I guess it's a form of a blackout.
Yeah.
I guess for me, I don't, because bullying is very broad, right? So bullying could be somebody. I used to get bullied as a kid for my last name. Like kids used to run around and say like, they would just make fun of my last name. So if I shot up the school,
Butterfingers.
For sometimes when Eddie make bad jokes, I just let it breathe. But when if I shot up the school because somebody was making fun of my last name, like in the when you really look at it from a logistics standpoint, that just sounds kind of dumb. So I guess I would need to know more details about like the context in which he was getting bullied. Like there's, like I said, especially in college, there's a version of it where they might have been like physically abusing him, or they might have been like, doing like crazy stuff where they popping up outside of his door and like, showing pictures of, whatever the case may be, some personal pictures or something. So there's like, there's a scale to where, something like that makes more sense in terms of the retaliation.
But the problem of we're trying to make sense out of it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to go into a theater and shoot people. It doesn't make sense to run planes into a building, Keith. When people do shit like this, they're not thinking. There is no logic. In some way, I want to hurt you. That's all I can see. I don't care about jail. I don't care about getting caught. Fuck. Afterwards, I might be like, "Oh man, they're gonna get me."
But what I'm saying is, like, if you had a son, and we don't know what our kids, your son is in school, or your kids are in school. You don't know exactly what's going on in every single class.
No.
So if your son is making fun of another kid, and you find out that your son is making fun of another kid by him being dead by a gunshot, like, what is your perspective then?
I mean, you're not talking to your kids enough, because on both ends, the bully and the kid getting bullied, parents should be aware of what they're doing. So if I hear that my son is bullying, we got to have a real talk, and it's going to be like, he's going to know that that's not okay. If you hear you should hear that your kid is being bullied, because when you're paying attention to somebody, you should know. Like, I know my sons better than they know themselves. I know when something is off. Like, what's wrong? What's on your mind? That type of thing. So I feel like you as the parent, I know it's impossible for them to tell you everything, but you as a parent should be a safe space for them to come and just express to you certain things. Like, yo, these kids so that you can go up to the school and say, like, look, he told y'all this boy is messing with him. I'm the parent. I'm here now. It's real to me. I'm not going to stop until something happened with this, because my son is not. And I am going to tell my son to come up here and act a fool if y'all don't tell him to leave him alone. Maybe not kill nobody, but
the unfortunate thing.
Or we're going to bring all his little ghetto cousins up here. What do y'all want us to do?
The unfortunate thing is there's not a lot of parent representation a lot of times.
Yeah.
And a lot of these parents they fucking suck. And their kids go to school and the cell phone is raising the kid.
Yeah.
So these kids don't know shit and their parents don't know shit. So the problem is I hate to say this, but I'm a parent and my son is getting bullied in any capacity. And it's by an asshole kid, and that kid's parents oftentimes is a piece of shit themselves.
Yeah.
I'd be like, look, if that kid does anything, you fuck him up, because the school is only going to do so much. They're going to say, hey, leave little Frederick alone, okay? Don't bother Frederick. And then it's just going to graduate to the kid getting beat up after school.
Yeah.
So it's like at some point parents got to step in, but these parents, a lot of them suck, bro. We got to be real. A lot of them. My dad was a very active parent, but it was times where when anything would happen, if it would involve another kid, that kid's parents wouldn't show up. Or if they did show up, they was ghetto as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie, my son goes to I'm gonna say predominantly white school. And they was calling, might have been last year, somebody called him some type of monkey or something. My son is mixed too, so I would have for sure been a monkey. I'm a monkey over there, I guess. But they said some form, or they was making monkey noises, and the other kids was laughing. And so he told the teacher, we told the teacher all this stuff. And I told him, I said, now that everybody is aware, if they do that again, you slap the hell out of him. And you slap him so hard that the people laugh and understand that, okay, don't make no monkey noises at DJ. Mm-hmm. You gotta send a message to the whole group that, look, I'm not playing about this. This is it's not funny to me. And y'all not about to pick on me. And, you know, like I said, if you slap the leader hard enough, the rest of them gonna fall.
If you
back.
slap the gorilla, then all the other chimpanzees.
Fucking Steve Irwin come out of nowhere. Crikey, look, he slapped the biggest gorilla. He went down. He assumed his dominance over the gorilla.
They just got to know you're not no punk. Even if it get bad after that.
He's afraid to engage.
Yeah.
You know, somebody would look at him and say, hey, man, you know, you're not a great father for telling your kid to get violent. Unfortunate thing about the real world is some motherfuckers only respond to violence.
Yeah, especially after I've taken the steps. We told the school, the kids know you don't like it, the school knows. So, yes, slap the hell out of him, and then we're going to come up there and talk to the people about why you did it, because we told y'all. And they kept on.
And then the people that he learned from.
I slapped daddies too.
Yeah, he the one that taught you how to do the monkey noises.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of this shit is learned behavior from kids, man.
Yeah,
it's learned behavior. This was a man that we're talking about, but he's still a young man, and a lot of times
this kid's young. College, you 19, 18, 20 years old.
Yeah, you have an underdeveloped brain. Your brain is not fully developed, your frontal cortex, until you're in your late 20s.
You know where it's gonna develop? In prison.
Yeah, he gonna be bent over in that motherfucker.
Damn.
They really gonna be abusing him in there.
Man, that nigga's case gonna be over with.
What's going on?
That nigga might as well create an OnlyFans. Or the only jails. Oh man.
God damn.
Yeah. My heart goes out to all involved. But this
that's a sad situation.
But this ain't gonna stop. This ain't gonna stop. I live in the real world. I know somebody gonna be shot tomorrow for the same shit. Yeah. And it's fucked up. And the only thing you could do is alert your kids to this and let them know that if they are making fun of somebody, because we all do it, once you see that other person that's really super uncomfortable, that you could tell his mood change or something, like, hey man, you know I'm playing, all right? I'm sorry, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
You need to make sure your kids are empathetic to people that look like, because I done seen some people, like back when I was a kid, they didn't express it through shooting people, but it would be like, you, it's fine. Yeah, you funny, you cracking jokes on me, but I bet y'all beat your ass.
Yeah, that's when it.
That's when it shift. It went from like all jokes, everybody laughing and like, but I bet y'all beat your ass, then bitch. And it's like, dang, you got roasted so bad, you want to get violent.
Yeah.
So there was elements of this even back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, but it would end in a fist fight. But now motherfuckers is getting shot.
Yeah, that roasting, it's I don't know. I just wish I had more context to like what happened to him. But I'm sure more and more news will come out as the weeks goes on.
Yep. All right, switching gears. Phones at Takeoff's funeral. As we know, recently the rapper Takeoff passed away. And he just had his funeral service. And at that service, somebody had a fucking phone out.
A few people had phones out.
A few people. Where's this article at?
After the family had asked him not to.
Yeah, after the family asked him not to. Let's skip that. Basically, Offset was up there speaking his piece and crying and saying, like, I don't know why you chose him, God. You know, I believe in you, Father, but I just don't get it, right? And he was up there crying, and somebody recorded it and put it up there, and everybody was mad, like, hey, man, they said no phones. What the fuck? You know, but that's the issue. I think that these cell phones I think that what these cell phones are doing is they're exposing the mental illness within people. And I think that what's going on is people like are looking for low moments to still put shit on social media. When Takeoff got shot, somebody recorded it. Yeah. That's crazy. When Nipsey got shot, somebody recorded it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
When Tupac got shot, somebody... I'm just playing.
All right, Keith. All right, enough of that. All right. Make you create an only jail account. Yeah, but that's the thing, man. Like, people's demises are being recorded. That's a problem. That's not okay. You know, imagine like me in a low moment, you know, somebody sucker punched me, I fall down and I'm bleeding and my teeth fell out, and you like, yo, that's Eddie McGee from a Trucker's Mind. Yo, what happened, yo? What happened, bro? I'm like, nigga, call the ambulance, man. Fuck. Can't you see I'm beat up, man? Give me some help, bitch. Fuck. This nigga over here recording me with my teeth all out.
I think what happened is there's an incentive for, and this is created by like TMZ. This is created by like Twitter, Instagram, because like entertaining videos get a lot of views. You know what I mean? So, and TMZ, they know that TMZ actually pays people to have certain footage. So it's one thing, on one end, we just are sick as people to be wanting to record in situations where we're asked not to record, or where we know it's like morally incorrect. But on the other end, we know that there's value to having Nipsey Hussle like laying on the ground lifeless, you know, and as sick as that sounds, it even hurts me to say that, but there's like a value to it in terms of getting views on Twitter, or getting views on certain platforms. So it's sad, man. I just wish that there was a way that we can be more present, you know. Even, you know, talking about the Childish Gambino concert we went to, and at the beginning at the concert, he's like, hey, everybody put your phone away. I just want, essentially saying, I want everybody to be present. You know what I mean? And we got a couple videos here and there, but those memories are still in your head.
Oh, man.
I feel like when you take your phone out, you're like, you remove yourself from being in the moment.
You're reducing the moment. I believe that. I think at one point, especially like when we were kids, back in the Kodak times, you know, especially in my family, there's mainly the women, but they always captured real Kodak moments. I'm talking about back in the day, like DJ could be eating a sandwich over there, take a picture of him. You know how the negative come out, and they put it in a big scrapbook, right? And DJ's 4, they get pictures of him when he's 4, 8, 9, 18, 26, and you go back to those scrapbooks, and it's all just DJ in his organic habitat, just living his life. Nowadays, everything is overly produced. It's like people can't take a picture without putting their butt in it, or like doing certain poses and shit like that. Back in the day, people actually took pictures to record moments. Yeah. Nowadays, it's like it's done at someone's demise. They bleeding out their head, or they recording every situation, or they going on live. Yo, they need to take the live feature away from people, dog. I'm serious. They need to just take live off. Like, we're not broadcasters. We're not. And most of the times, literally 90% of the time, when I see non-popular, famous people go live, it's for no reason. They just drinking alcohol or something like, what's up, y'all? What y'all doing tonight? I'm like, nigga, you got one person watching the video. Talk about y'all.
Yeah.
Tap in.
Yeah, like, I think the worst part about it all is they not doing it for morals or for money or for anything other than likes.
Social
literally, if the last few videos you posted got 41 likes, and you see Takeoff get shot or Nipsey get shot, and you record the situation, the first thing you thinking is like, wow, I'm gonna be the first to post this. You're not. First of all, you're not even gonna make money. You literally, most of them are not even smart enough to say, look, I got this footage. TMZ, if y'all want it, I need this amount of money. No, we just want to be first.
Yeah, someone recently had more coverage on Nipsey getting shot. That was probably a couple weeks or a month ago.
Really?
Yeah,
it was like a newer video.
Dang.
But you gotta be that. I mean, they're like that because they can't really call TMZ and say, "Look, I got this footage. I'll sell it for this much," because they know they're not the only one who pulled their phone out.
There's like 4 or 5 people there.
Yeah, it'd be a bunch of people. Everybody pulled their phone. This man just got shot. All y'all pulled your phone out to record. Nobody pulled it out to call 911. That is a problem.
That's wild. Yeah.
In fact, you may be holding your phone saying, call 911 while recording. Like, that's the crazy thing.
I can't pause the video.
Yeah, we've seen videos like that, though, where the person holding a camera saying, someone call 911. Yeah. Bro, you're holding the camera. You're not trying to go up and talk to him to make sure he is staying alive and all these types of things.
I think that the word to summarize this is not only just, poor morals, but oversharing. I think oversharing runs deeper. I think that some people, they overshare their personal relationships, they overshare. People's demise, they overshare. How much money they're making, they're oversharing. How bad their life is, they're oversharing. You need to keep some shit for you. And I think what happens too is like that element of social media is just bad. Like it's really bad because you're putting yourself in a position where you're almost trying to explain your life when you're oversharing your personal shit, which is no one's business. You're volunteering that.
Yeah.
Now, when you're recording somebody else's demise, like you're not even giving them the option of saying no. You just like, yo, this guy's brain is hanging out, and I want to share this just because maybe it might be considered important to somebody, and I could get some attention for it.
Yeah. The worst part is, worse than the recording, you left from recording that and still was like, watched it back and said, post. Like, it's one thing to like, for your gut reaction or your very instant reaction to pull your phone out and record. Okay, you did that. Now for you to go review the tape and be like, yeah, that's still good to post. It's crazy to me. For your real morals to not say it and be like, you know what? Let me delete this. This ain't cool to have.
Yeah. You know that AutoZone off of Ming? It's right there in the same parking lot with Liquor King and all that, and the laundromat right off of Ash. There's an AutoZone right there. Somebody drove through the store, and I was there when it happened.
Yeah.
I was coming off of work late, and the person had just drove through the fucking side of the store. He drove in it. It's fucking air fresheners and shit all over it's fucked up.
Car probably smell good, huh?
I don't know. All I know is I was literally about to pull my phone out like, oh my God, damn, what happened? And I just drove off. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck is that gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had a moment where I was about to record that. But I'm like, record it for what? Like, who is this helping? What is this doing? And I just kept driving. You know, like, why? And then I was driving back. I was headed to the yard before I got off of work. This is about 3 weeks ago. There was a dude that drove through someone's yard off California. I don't know if he was drunk. He hit a curb and drove through the motherfucking yard. And I could have been like, ooh, let me put my phone out. Because I seen everything that happened. But who is that going to help?
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I just think we live in it's like sometimes we got too many capabilities. We got the ability to record everything, take a picture of everything. And it's, then you just have like dumbass people with like cell phones. And
it's going to get bad. People going to be like, hey, yo, what's up? I'm fucking my wife right now.
Yeah.
The comments were like, dang, this nigga got a little dick.
These are my confessions.
Damn, this nigga jacking off in the shower again? I want my money back with my OnlyFans.
That's crazy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know. I think even, we went to Las Vegas with DJ after he got married, and it was one of those moments where I think even his wife had mentioned that they didn't even take their phones out, or like they didn't really have pictures.
We got one picture
like
from our whole honeymoon.
Yeah.
In a phone booth.
Yeah. But I think even with that, there's so many like memories that you probably can refer to without actually.
And we have a lot of things like that where we just don't have our phone out. So, naturally, I don't think that should not be your first thought. Is let me like even Childish Gambino saying that at the concert. That should be, as a person who paid X amount of dollars to go see this person. I just seen some Taylor Swift tickets. I know that there was like a lot of controversy behind that, but like Lil Duval posted Taylor Swift tickets going for like $94,000. You think I'm about to pay $94,000 and then watch this through a phone screen?
That don't make sense.
It makes no sense. I can't even record my son's basketball games because I can't look at the screen and watch. I have to. Somebody else got to record because I need to be able to watch the game. Yeah. So that should never be your first reaction, especially when somebody is laying on the ground literally dying. Your first instinct should be to help, not to get some clout.
I think that it's a dope thing when you mention like about your wife and how you guys really take pictures. I think it's an awesome thing, and I don't want to pigeonhole women, but I think it's an awesome thing when you do meet a woman that's not strung out on social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Someone that is really willing, that's able to be in that moment without having all those distractions. Like, oh, babe, let me get your food real quick. Oh, babe, let me get this. Let me get that right there. Oh, let me get that. And it's like, God damn, man, fuck.
There's hella pictures of food in your phone.
It's like, man, like
what you gonna do with a picture of a food?
Bro,
just eat the goddamn sandwich.
That's why I stopped recording concerts. I went to like Chris Brown concert, had a bunch of videos. Boys,
did you get that punch?
No, I didn't get the punch. But I stopped recording concerts because I realized, like, bro, those videos literally sit in my phone. I never see them.
You don't even go back and. I mean, at least me personally, I don't look at it.
No, most people don't. I know I did. All got deleted, and I stopped doing it because it's like, what is the point?
Mm-hmm.
I got some pretty good coverage from that Gambino concert.
Yeah,
I got some pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was getting off. He was doing a great job. But yeah, let's go ahead and close this out here shortly. Last one. Switching gears. New after school Satan Club coming to Tehachapi Elementary School. Tehachapi Golden Hills Elementary is getting a new after school club, but it's not your typical dance or photography club. Instead, they'll be getting an after school Satan Club, sponsored by Satanic Temple and Reason Alliance. The Satanic Temple is a non-theistic religious organization that is not to be confused with the Church of Satan. The After School Satan Club was created within the last 10 years and meant to educate children, encourage critical thinking, and not teach Satanism. According to Lucian Gray, y'all need to change the name, man. The co-founder of spokesperson of the After School Satan Club, we keep religious matters out of the teachings. Stop calling it the Satan Club. Of the After School Satan Club, and people often ask us, well, then why include Satanism at all? Being that people are going to be offended by it. Well, the fact that the matter is there's nothing to be offended by, and we don't want people to be unaware of who we are when we run these programs, as we think there would be more intense backlash if they were trying to hide it, said Greaves. Man, look here, dog. This is the issue with the progressive mindset in America. When you push the boundaries over and over, you know, and you want to push all this shit on kids and you want to the pronoun shit and all of that on these kids, then everything else is going to fly too. Mm-hmm. And this is the issue, man. If somebody says, look, I identify as a black man, but he is white as a person from Ireland, right? This is what happens. People get to do and say anything, and it gets so delusional and so fucking lost that they literally got elementary kids in the Satan Club after school. This is on us, man.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like nonsense, but this is a real club, and I think that it's hard to say. I think we were having a conversation earlier about, like, instead of having both, let's just take both out, and you know that could be applied to any subject matter. But I think with this, like, you know, so there might be a way where we could say, like, well, there's Christianity in the school, and we're praying to God and the Pledge of Allegiance and stuff like that. But it's just different. Like, our country is built on, like, in God we trust and all these different statements. So
right.
To introduce Satanism, it just kind of seems like that. It kind of seems like this progressive way of being inclusive or whatever the case may be.
Satan was marginalized like anyone else, and it's not right that we hold him back from the children because children should learn more about Satan. Yeah. He wasn't a bad person.
He wasn't a bad person.
That's what I was going to say. What are they going to try to teach? Because, I mean, it's not as though religion don't teach you about Satan. So are y'all about to try to convince me that he's a good guy? Like, what, or convince these kids that he's a good guy? I just don't. And this goes into a lot of different subjects, but certain subjects, like, let kids be kids.
Right, exactly.
Like, certain things, if you're a Satanist and you want your kid to learn about that, teach it at home. If you whatever you subscribe to, whatever you like to do, certain things should be taught at home. School is for, it used to be, do we even allow art classes anymore? Like, I don't think that they have, because when I was going to school, I went to like a magnet school. I went to Thorner, so I had like art class, and I could take music, and I could take gymnastics, and I take drama, like regular performing arts. Now it's all types of extra stuff that our kids are being taught or being exposed to and being told they have a choice to do. When it's like, I didn't want my kid to even have to hear that going to a Satan club was an option. Let me teach them what I want to teach them at home, and then you do the same with yours.
And next it's going to be an after-school twerking class.
Exactly. Yeah. Just because it should be okay to raise your daughter to be a stripper from 2nd grade on up.
That's fucking wild, yo.
That could be your career.
I think what I would say is like, I think education worked better when there wasn't so much freedom. Like there was, like nowadays, like people are raising. I don't have kids, so I can't really say, but they're raising children with like they have a choice. They get to choose what they wear to school. They get to choose if they want to do this or that. They get to choose this, and it's just like I think that level of freedom for a person that's brain is not developed is dangerous. You know, and
that's the part that's overlooked when you speak about giving them certain freedoms. Their brain is underdeveloped. They won't even know what to do with the freedom. Yeah, like, and I think freedom. It's gonna sound crazy because we are in America. Freedom, number one, it doesn't actually exist here. There's certain things you can't do. That's number one, including like freedom of speech, as we see with the cancel culture, but whatever. Freedom is also very like overrated because too much freedom. If we could just do whatever we want, imagine how much evil would be done in the world. Or like, there needs to be restriction. So to give kids the freedom of, I feel like giving kids freedom of to make certain choices at school eliminates the freedom of the parent to control what their kid is exposed to.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'll tell you what though. This what parents don't really, I don't know if they grasp this. You can control whatever you want. You can control it. That's fine. But it's going to come down to your kid as a young man or a young woman to evaluate their own life. Because it doesn't matter. Because like when it comes to me and my dad, there's certain things we're night and day. But that's because I made my own decisions. Yeah. Right. I took like a lot of things from my father, but as a man, there's certain things I learned on my own.
Yeah.
So, it's going to come down to them making, educated choices as a young woman or a young man. And that's one of the biggest, heaviest things that parents don't have shit to do with. You got to hope that your young person is making enough valuable choices. Otherwise, I seen good parents with fucked up kids. Great parents.
Yeah.
Kids just a fuck up.
Yeah. I think that we'd mentioned it earlier about like some of these narratives with like some of these hate groups like the KKK and the Nazis and stuff like that. They started off as like from a what people would deem like a morally good place. They may have started off in the community just trying to help people out. And then it turned into this master diabolical plan to like get rid of a certain race of people. So I think we got to be careful with like introducing these like very off-brand groups into our society. Because it's small now. The Satan Club is small now. And next thing you know, who knows what it looks like.
I also don't think it's an accident that they are targeting our children.
Yeah, kids.
Because they trying to get them when they're most impressionable. Like, if I'm not mistaken, this was an elementary school, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why is there not one at the high school where the kids already kind of like, you're trying to get to them early while they can really be confused out here. Yeah. And I don't think that's an accident. I feel like, what I'm saying? We know Satan is out here. We know what he's doing.
I would say, we just have to be mindful. I guess Satan is just, it sounds odd because I'm a Christian, but we got to be mindful of like the intentions of these groups because Christianity was used to spread slavery, right?
Yeah.
Just to
wow.
So
damn.
I think it's just important. Like,
damn.
If their true nature is just to teach kids skills, and that's if they're being genuine, which I don't know, but I just think we got to be mindful of like the real.
My thing is, what skill you learning in that class? Because wood shop is not at the school.
Probably how to start fires.
Home economics is not. Definitely, that's all they can learn is how to start fires and then go stand in it. Because that's you got to learn how to
take this Ouija board.
Yeah, take extreme amounts of heat right now.
Oh man, yeah, that's wild. Yeah, you can't. When people get influenced by whatever, right? You got to be careful because all of a sudden, before you know it, niggas is in there jacking off in the shower.
Right.
You don't want
That's
that.
a wild callback
At all.
You said what?
So that's a wild callback.
No, it's been called back every segment. That's the crazy part.
That's funny.
Can you imagine having to explain that shit? You'd be like, man, look, the night started off good. You know, we had a good dinner, good conversation, and one thing led to the next. I was jacking off in the shower.
Singing.
Or somebody knocking on the door while he in the shower. You all right? What are you doing? I'm recording a video from out the shower door.
No, the wild part is that Snapchat like replays your video.
No.
On the loop?
Yeah, on the loop. So, you know, after you record it, it plays it back extra loud. So
Oh, so he can't hit that note that Eddie hit. That who yet? Because it just be like, who yet? Who yet? Who
over
yet?
and over with
In
that
a row.
squishing
You
sound.
get that lotion.
He got good lotion if it survived the shower. I was on the shampoo when I was that age.
Shampoo.
When I was young enough to be using the shower.
That nigga
You know the crazy thing
your
about
nut
jacking
hair's got no dandruff in it.
at all. Pubic hair is well conditioned at 14. I said, what you got waves down here, but not on your head? That's crazy.
This nigga got Rottweiler hair on his head.
Balls smell like Selsun Blue, no dandruff.
Oh man,
You got Tresemme on your balls.
That's crazy.
Oh yo, these niggas nuts mad sparkly, yo.
Glitter.
Yeah. Well, looks like we came to the end of this one, man. If you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to Trucker's Mind Podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
And I'm DJ.
Hey, I almost said your name just now. I don't know
you
what
didn't.
happened. Yeah, I almost said it.
Wow.
I almost said I'm Eddie McGee. We got to do that over.
No way.
Yeah.
Because you almost said it. You didn't say it, nigga.
I know, but in my head, I was like, I can't let this slide without saying
You gotta
it.
stop eating all that beef before the podcast,
It's
man.
all that confessions and jacking off in the shower and stuff.
That's what got you thinking you Eddie?
Yes.
I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Stop thinking of me, goddammit. All right, folks. Let's try this shit again. If you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind Podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're out of here.
Yep.
Peace.
Oh, I forgot to mention DJ.
Nigga, man.
DJ's here too.
It's your boy K Fings. I mean DJ.
Jesus Christ, this
We
is
got to
terrible.
get it right. Hold on one more time.
All right. Wind. You're supposed to say water, so Captain Planet.
Water.
Fire. Wait, I don't want to be fire after satanic people.
I think
He do got the red shoe. He do got the red bottoms on too.
you know what? I
Okay.
think would be dope as a tribute to the Green Ranger if we had the visual content that we all like fucking morph
morphin' time.
together like fucking Montosaur,
Time.
Pterodactyl,
Triceratops.
EBT.
That's
The
funny.
Aquarius.
Just start naming.
You imagine that? But you said every hood nigga's name after you try to power up.
Oh, man.
Deontay.
Willie Earl. This is something from the
Willie Earl.
60s.
Willie Earl. God damn.
Something from the 60s.
Oh man. That's
Damn.
wild.
Oh man.
All right, let's run it up.
Let's go ahead and close this thing out, man. Once again, if you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind Podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
And your boy DJ.
And we're out of here.
Peace.